Mental health. Mental health has become one of the defining issues of our time, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, has made it one of her central causes. She has recognized that while physical health often receives attention and resources, mental health struggles are frequently hidden in silence. Catherine has worked to ensure that mental well-being is spoken about openly, that families feel supported, and that individuals who are struggling are never left to face their challenges alone. She believes that emotional strength forms the foundation for happy, healthy, and productive lives. Her commitment has taken her to schools, hospitals, military bases, and community centers, where she listens to the voices of children, young adults, and families. She has continually used her platform to highlight the importance of providing resources for mental health care, while also focusing on early intervention, ensuring that help reaches people before their problems become overwhelming. Heads Together campaign. One of Catherine's most impactful initiatives has been a Heads Together campaign, launched in 2016 alongside Prince William and Prince Harry. The campaign was designed to tackle the stigma surrounding mental health by encouraging people to speak openly about their struggles. Through this campaign, Catherine and the royal family used their influence to start a national conversation in the UK. They partner with 8 mental health charities, amplifying their work and connecting them with wider audiences. The campaign included media outreach, school programs, workplace initiatives, and sporting events, all aimed at normalizing mental health discussions. The message was simple yet powerful. Mental health is just as important as physical health, and no one should feel ashamed of seeking help. The campaign created a cultural shift in how people view mental illness, and Catherine played a key role in making it happen. Breaking the stigma. Breaking the stigma has been a personal mission for Catherine. She has spoken directly about how damaging it is when individuals feel they must hide their pain. She has met with children suffering from anxiety, parents struggling with depression, and healthcare workers facing burnout, always reinforcing the idea that speaking out is the first step toward healing. Her work also extends into schools, where she has supported programs that teach children how to express their feelings, manage stress, and build resilience. Catherine believes that creating a society where mental health is understood and accepted begins with education at a young age. By speaking publicly and repeatedly about the importance of acknowledging mental struggles, Catherine has helped reshape the conversation in the UK and beyond. She has given a voice to those who might otherwise have remained silent, and in doing so, she has inspired countless people to reach out for support. Support for frontline workers and families. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Catherine turned her attention to those most deeply affected, frontline workers and families facing unprecedented stress. She held video calls with nurses, doctors, and paramedics, listening to their stories and thanking them for their extraordinary efforts. She also emphasized the toll the crisis was taking on their mental well-being and advocated for stronger support systems. For families struggling with isolation, homeschooling, and anxiety, Catherine highlighted resources that could help them cope. She visited organizations providing counseling, spoke with parents about the importance of self-care, and promoted digital platforms that offered mental health assistance. Her empathy was not symbolic. It was action-oriented. She helped launch initiatives that provided text-based support services, ensuring people could reach out for help confidentially and immediately. Catherine's dedication during this global crisis proved her belief that no group should ever feel abandoned, especially those who dedicate their lives to caring for others. Early childhood development. Early childhood development is perhaps Catherine's most personal and long-term mission. She has often spoken about how the earliest years of life shape the adults we become, and how society cannot afford to overlook this vital stage. Catherine has devoted years to studying research, meeting experts, and listening to families in order to understand how best to help children thrive. Her commitment to this cause became formalized in 2021 with the launch of the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, an initiative under the Royal Foundation that she spearheaded. The center's goal is ambitious yet clear: to transform society's understanding of the importance of the first 5 years of life. Catherine believes that by investing in early development, mental, emotional, and physical, we are building stronger communities, healthier families, and a more resilient generation. The Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood. This center brings together academics, policymakers, charities, and families. Catherine's vision is to create a society where every child is given the tools they need to succeed, not just in school, but in life. She has emphasized that the first 5 years are critical for brain development, and neglect in these years can have long-lasting consequences. Through the center, Catherine has funded groundbreaking research that highlights a link between early experiences and later challenges, such as addiction, poor mental health, and crime. She has also encouraged collaboration between organizations, arguing that early childhood is not just a family issue, it's a societal responsibility. Importance of the first 5 years. Catherine often refers to the first 5 years as the foundation of life. She has explained that a child's experiences during this period, the care they receive, the love they feel, and the stability of their environment, can determine their confidence, empathy, and ability to cope with challenges. She uses every public appearance on this subject to drive home the message: invest in the early years, and you change society forever. Catherine has compared it to building a house. Without strong foundations, the structure cannot stand firmly. Her speeches, documentaries, and interviews have made this concept accessible to the public, turning scientific data into relatable truths for parents and teachers. Supporting parents, teachers, and communities. Catherine has been careful to stress that early childhood development is not about pressuring parents, but about supporting them. She has visited nurseries and preschools, speaking directly with teachers about their needs and the challenges they face. She has highlighted the importance of giving parents resources, such as parenting workshops and mental health support, so they can provide loving and stable environments. She has also spoken about the role communities play in raising children, reminding us that it takes more than one household to nurture the next generation. Her good deeds in this area include hands-on activities, such as helping children plant gardens, reading with them in schools, and encouraging parents to connect with one another. These small actions reflect her larger philosophy, that every child, no matter their background, deserves love, safety, and opportunity. Families, hospitals, and communities. One of the most striking aspects of Catherine's work is her devotion to families and communities, especially those who are facing hardship. While her public role often places her in grand palaces and prestigious ceremonies, Catherine repeatedly chooses to spend her time in hospitals, hospices, schools, and small community centers. Her good deeds here are not symbolic photo opportunities. They are meaningful interactions where she listens, comforts, and inspires. Catherine has become a strong advocate for family-centered support. She has acknowledged openly that families are the backbone of society and that supporting them means strengthening the entire community. Whether it is visiting a neonatal ward, sitting with parents who have lost children, or encouraging young people to take up community projects, Catherine's approach is always grounded in compassion and genuine human connection. Patronage of children's hospices. One of Catherine's longest-standing commitments has been her patronage of children's hospices. Since becoming a royal, she has dedicated herself to supporting organizations such as East Anglia's Children's Hospices, EACH. These facilities provide vital care for children with life-threatening conditions and much-needed support for their families. Catherine's involvement goes far beyond formal patronage. She has visited hospices multiple times, sitting with families, talking with parents, and even engaging in activities with the children. On one visit, she joined children in creating art, reminding families that even in the most difficult times, creativity and joy can bring comfort. Her speeches at hospice events often emphasize the importance of cherishing every moment and supporting families through the darkest of times. Catherine's presence brings visibility to these organizations, helping them secure funding and public awareness. But her genuine warmth also reassures families that they are not alone in their struggles. Comforting grieving families. Catherine has shown remarkable empathy when meeting families who are grieving. On several occasions, she has sat privately with parents who have lost children, listening to their stories and offering words of comfort. These meetings often take place away from the cameras, reflecting her belief that such moments should be intimate and respectful. Her approach is not to offer quick fixes or empty platitudes, but to listen deeply. Families have described how her kindness and genuine concern have made them feel valued and understood. This quiet compassion is one of her most powerful good deeds, the ability to give comfort simply by being present. She has also supported charities that provide bereavement counseling, recognizing that grief can have a profound impact on both children and adults. By lending her voice to these organizations, Catherine has helped remove the stigma that sometimes surrounds discussions of loss and mourning. Community outreach. beyond hospitals and hospices. Catherine has made community outreach a cornerstone of her work. She has visited countless local centers, schools, and shelters, meeting with people who are working to improve their neighborhoods. Her focus is often on grassroots initiatives, small organizations run by volunteers who may not receive much attention, but who make a significant impact on local lives. By shining a spotlight on their efforts, Catherine helps these groups gain recognition and resources. She has also encouraged young people to get involved in their communities, emphasizing the importance of volunteering and service. In doing so, she sets an example that giving back is not only a royal duty but a responsibility for everyone. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Catherine and Prince William highlighted the work of community groups delivering food, supporting vulnerable neighbors, and providing mental health assistance. Their virtual and in-person visits gave encouragement to those working tirelessly behind the scenes. Arts, sports, and nature. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has always understood the power of creativity, physical activity, and the natural world in shaping healthier and happier lives. Beyond her work in mental health and early childhood, she has consistently promoted the importance of art, sports, and nature as tools for building confidence, resilience, and community. Her involvement in these areas reflects her own passions, photography, the outdoors, and an active lifestyle, which she uses to connect with people of all ages. Whether she is standing in an art gallery, picking up a tennis racket, or helping children build dens in the woods, Catherine shows that learning and healing often happen outside of formal settings. Patron of the National Portrait Gallery. One of Catherine's most high-profile roles in the arts has been her patronage of the National Portrait Gallery in London. As an art lover and skilled amateur photographer, Catherine has brought fresh energy to this institution. She has championed projects that use portraiture not only as an artistic expression, but as a way of telling stories about people's lives and identities. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, she launched the Hold Still project in collaboration with the gallery. This initiative invited people across the UK to submit photographs capturing life under lockdown. The response was overwhelming, with tens of thousands of entries that reflected themes of resilience, kindness, and community spirit. Catherine helped curate the final selection, which went on public display, turning ordinary people's experiences into a national story of perseverance. Her involvement in the arts goes beyond exhibitions. She has supported programs that bring creative opportunities to children and families who might not otherwise have access. She believes strongly that art is not just for the elite. It is a universal language that can inspire, heal, and unite. Supporting creativity in schools. Catherine has often spoken about how creativity can boost children's confidence, problem-solving skills, and emotional expression. During her visits to schools, she frequently takes part in art activities, encouraging children to express themselves through painting, drawing, or music. She has praised teachers who use creative methods to support children's learning and has highlighted the importance of funding arts programs in education. In many of her public statements, Catherine has emphasized that creativity is as important as academic achievement because it nurtures imagination and resilience. Her passion for photography has also influenced her public role. As patron of the Royal Photographic Society, she has promoted the use of photography as a way for young people to explore their surroundings, tell stories, and gain confidence in their skills. Sports for health and confidence. Catherine's love of sports is well documented, and she has used it to inspire both children and adults to stay active. Whether playing tennis at Wimbledon, rowing with students, or joining in rugby drills, she always participates with enthusiasm, showing that physical activity should be fun and inclusive. As patron of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club and the Rugby Football Union, she has used her influence to highlight the importance of sports in building teamwork, discipline, and self-belief. She has encouraged children, especially girls, to get involved in sports that have traditionally been male-dominated. Her presence at sporting events often brings global attention, but Catherine consistently redirects the spotlight toward the athletes, their stories, and the broader message of promoting healthy lifestyles. She has emphasized that sports are not just about competition, but about developing resilience, supporting mental health, and creating opportunities for everyone. Nature, gardening, and outdoor learning. Perhaps one of Catherine's most personal causes is her advocacy for outdoor play and connection with nature. She has often spoken about how time spent outdoors is beneficial for children's mental and physical well-being. In 2019, Catherine co-designed a Back to Nature garden at the Chelsea Flower Show. This interactive garden was designed to encourage families to spend more time outdoors, climbing, exploring, and connecting with the natural world. The project was a hit with children, including her own, testing the features like tree houses, streams, and swings. The garden was later adapted and taken to different communities so that more families could experience it. Catherine explained that outdoor play not only supports physical health, but also helps children build confidence, develop social skills, and reduce stress. She has supported forest schools and outdoor learning programs, often rolling up her sleeves to join children in planting, den building, or nature walks. These activities reflect her belief that small, everyday connections with nature can have life-changing effects. Quiet acts of kindness. Much of Catherine's work as Princess of Wales is highly visible. The public engagements, the speeches, the campaigns. Yet some of her most powerful good deeds are the ones that never make headlines. These quiet acts of kindness reveal the depth of her compassion and the sincerity of her character. They remind us that true service often happens away from the cameras. Private visits and charities. Catherine has been known to make private visits to charities without press coverage, simply to spend time with the people they serve. These unannounced visits allow her to connect in a more personal way without the formalities of a public event. Staff at several organizations have quietly spoken of her showing up to listen, to learn, and to give encouragement. For example, she has visited women's shelters to hear from survivors of domestic abuse, not for publicity, but to understand their needs and challenges. In other instances, she has spent time with young people in recovery programs, offering them reassurance that their struggles matter and their resilience is seen. Such actions highlight her belief that charity work is not about appearances, but about genuine human connection. By choosing to spend time with people quietly and without recognition, she reinforces the message that kindness has value even when nobody is watching. Personal letters and gestures. One of Catherine's most touching habits is writing personal letters to individuals and families she has met. Parents who have lost children, patients who have been through long illnesses, or people who have shared their stories with her have sometimes received handwritten notes from the princess. These letters are often kept as treasure mementos, not because of who wrote them, but because of the empathy and effort they represent. In an age of quick messages and fleeting communication, Catherine's choice to take time and write by hand shows a level of personal care that resonates deeply. In one instance, after visiting a child in hospice care, she followed up with a letter to the family, expressing her admiration for their strength. Small gestures like these, though rarely publicized, leave a lasting impact on those who receive them. Catherine away from the cameras. Royal life is often accompanied by media coverage, but Catherine has proven that her dedication to good deeds is not dependent on publicity. Away from cameras, she has been described as warm, attentive, and genuinely interested in people's stories. Community leaders and charity workers often recall how she spends extra time listening to individuals who might otherwise be overlooked in a crowd. She does not rush her interactions, but makes each person feel valued. Even in her personal life, Catherine embodies service. Friends and acquaintances describe her as thoughtful, considerate, and grounded, qualities that extend naturally into her public role. These qualities allow her to connect authentically with people across different backgrounds. Her quiet act of kindness may never dominate headlines, but they form the foundation of her reputation as a compassionate and empathetic leader. They remind the world that good deeds do not always need an audience to matter.